Good morning, everyone. The time is now 09:30 hours. We'll call the June 13th, 2023 meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chief Mook, you are first up for the promotions.
Thank you. I'm seeking approval to promote Corporal Jeff Keller to Sergeant in Patrol and Patrolman Mike Sorokas to Corporal in Patrol. And this is to fill some this is for backfill needs subsequent to my promotion to Chief. And in addition to that, I'm requesting approval to promote Corporal Ryan Mays to Sergeant in Investigations. And 4 detectives, Detective Jeremy Green, Detective Ryan Bolash, Detective Dan Shoup, and Detective Brian Henderson to the rank of Corporal in Investigations. Corporal Mays has been serving as the acting sergeant for some time now. And the other 4 promotions will allow us the opportunity to identify future leaders when backfill is needed in investigations to select the best candidate.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead.
I would just like to say congratulations to all of those that are being promoted today. I know that a rigorous process has undergone, and we are under Chief Mook's watch now, and I am proud to say that get to see all of you every day and watch you as you climb the ranks, but it's more about helping people, and I know that that's why you do what you do. So thank you for all that you guys do.
Thank you. Do I hear, so we're going to do these all at once? Okay, do I hear a motion for approval of the promotions as stated?
I'll make a motion to approve the promotions as stated.
And I'll second.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Always you do. Congratulations, children. Congratulations, Keller.
You can either stick around for the next hour and a half, or you can go out in the lobby. I know what I would do. Congratulations. Thank you. Is there any?
No. I suck. You're right, you're right. Good point.
Okay, next up is public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning. Is there anyone that would like to make public comment on any of the agenda items? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from our May 23rd, 2023 regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Approval of the bills. There is a batch of bills that need to be approved.
Make a motion for that.
And I will second.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 7 on our agenda is public hearing on subdivision and land development plans. We have a land development plan for BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. This be Matt or Rob?
Would be me today.
Mr. Waldinger.
Yes, thank you. They have presented a land development plan to show the construction of a 7,662 square foot eating and drinking establishment located at the Mill Creek Mall with associated stormwater management facilities and off-street parking along the west line of Peach Street, south of Kuntz Road in Tract 347. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this land development plan with the following condition: that they meet the 7% required green space within the parking lot. The Planning Commission also asked that the supervisors consider sidewalks along Peach Street for the entire Mill Creek Mall property. If I could comment on both of those, the developer has met the condition, and they do have more than 7% of the required green space. As far as the sidewalks along Peach Street, the lease line for this parcel does not extend out to Peach Street. It doesn't encompass all of that, so this development would not be required to place sidewalks there. There was a pretty lively discussion at the Planning Commission meeting about sidewalks in that area. I think the issue would be with the bridge that's immediately to the north of where this development in Sonic would be. There's no way for those sidewalks to continue north of that right now because of the bridge is right at the road curb line. So I think the Planning Commission landed on they would ask that the board have discussions with PennDOT in the future about whether sidewalks could be extended on that west side of Peach Street if the bridge was ever worked on or replaced.
Are there sidewalks on the, I guess it would be the south side of the proposed development along the entrance?
There are no sidewalks on the entrance.
There's nothing internal there.
Correct. Well, I'm sorry. Oh no, you're right. Not on that side either.
And that wasn't brought up
No.
at
No.
the meeting. Any questions or comments from the board on that?
None here.
Okay. Well, we can open the hearing, and is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this land development plan?
A copy of basically the presentation that we gave to the Planning Commission.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michael Takis. I'm with Bowler Engineering. We're the site civil and landscape architecture consultants for this project. We do have two other people here. If we have any questions regarding the operations of the BJ's Restaurant and Brew House or just operations at the mall in general, Justin Somerville from Cafaro, the mall owner, is here, and Joan Legay from BJ's Restaurant has joined us as well this morning. I'm going to give you just kind of a quick overview. Mr. Waldinger gave kind of the location of where we are here. This is a redevelopment of the remaining piece of developed area where the former Sears Automotive was. We are looking to basically come in there, take out the rest of that foundation, take out the asphalt where it is today, improve it, construct our restaurant, and then redo the parking as it meets the current ordinances, increase landscape around the entire area, and really decrease overall impervious for that location. In addition, we also are putting a significant underground detention system in to help accommodate the current stormwater ordinances, because there was basically nothing there in the past whenever that center was initially built. If you look at the third sheet, in the presentation. It basically shows the current condition out there on site today with the Sonic to the north, and then you can see what's remaining of the foundation of the old Sears Automotive. The parcel right now, or the area right now, is paved almost 100% across its limits. The next image is a slide, or basically just a photograph on the site showing that pad, showing the current condition. The next is looking back the opposite way towards the entrance. Those street trees that are in bloom there will be remaining. That lines the mall entrance there. And then the last one basically shows the pylon sign that is located at the front along Peach Street. The next page is showing basically just a survey information of that same aerial image, identifying again the constraints as far as the heavy black line is the PennDOT right-of-way line. So I think we're basically 90 feet away. So our parking is 90 feet away from the physical edge of Peach Street. The balance of that is in PennDOT right-of-way and utility easements. And then the next is our site plan. So this is what we're proposing to build. Again, you can see the orientation of the restaurant is the main entrance is on the right-hand side. It is facing out towards Peach Street. We have a service yard that is completely in the back. Our circulation, we're basically sharing the one access point with Sonic. So Sonic will still have access in there as well, and then that will be our access point. Only access is off that internal mall ring road. There's nothing proposed on Peach and nothing on the entrance, the main entrance to the mall itself.
Right, so that's a change from what's currently there. There's an entrance that is to the south where you can pull in.
That's correct.
So that will be curbed off.
That's correct. It pulls those movements further away from that intersection to help
Understood,
simplify
yeah.
it. And again, you can probably see it better on the next image. The next image is our site rendering with our landscape overlaid on top of it. You can see there's a significant landscape component to this project. Anything that is in light green is new lawn area that wasn't there before, predominantly along that inner mall ring road. So right now, that's paved all the way up to basically a curb line there. We're taking a lot of that out and installing a lawn area there, and then there's significant plantings around the buildings and around the perimeter of the site itself. The next image shows elevations of the building. Has a lot of architectural character to it, a lot of high-quality materials that go into the construction, so it gives a real architecturally pleasing visual really on all four sides of the building itself. And then the last image is an actual photograph as opposed to the architectural renderings of what the restaurant will look like. So the one that you see is the exact same restaurant that will be constructed at Mill Creek Mall. And that's all I have.
Do you have a timetable for getting the project started? I know, I don't want to hold you at anything, just ballpark. Okay, very good. Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go
If
ahead,
I
Matt.
could, I just should mention for the record that this hearing was delayed from the last meeting of May so that DJs could seek a couple variances from the zoning hearing board, which they were granted. They were granted a variance for parking spaces over 120% of the minimum required, and they were also granted a small variance for buffer plantings, not the number of plantings, but the location. They shifted them slightly different than what the zoning code calls for, and so they were granted both of those variances.
Okay, thank you, Matt, for that information. Is there anyone else here wishing to speak on this land development plan? Okay, hearing Hearing no further speakers, we will close the hearing, and I'll ask for a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to bids and quotations. COG Joint Purchasing Bid Results, Public Works and Streets. Rob?
Thank you. Good morning. In front of you is a list of quantities and pricing for this year's Erie Area Council of Governments materials that the township plans to use. This is an estimated quantity that may vary depending on the work being done this year. The materials and pricing are as follows. 100 ton of type C 57 stone and 100 ton of 2A stone. Both of those are coming from Gertz Sand and Gravel for a total price of $4,328. Catch basins with frame and bicycle grates, we're planning on 10 each 2x2x2s and 10 each 2x2x3s, totaling $16,400. Concrete catch basin risers, 10 each 2x2x3 inches, 10 each 2x3, or I'm sorry, the first one was 2x3x3 inches, then 10 each 2x3x6 inches, 10 2x3x12 inches, 2x2x3 inches, 10 2x2x6 inches, 10 2x2x12 inches. Those materials would all come from Waterford Precast for a total price of $9,450. And then finally, the drainage pipe. We have 200 linear feet of 12-inch pipe, 200 linear feet of 15-inch pipe, and 200 linear feet of 18-inch pipe. These would all come from Green Distributors for a total price of $7,196. Total price for all these materials is $37,374. Funds for these items will be taken from the maintenance and repairs line of the streets expense budget, and it is my recommendation to execute contracts on these materials.
Okay. Rob, for the risers, you said the increments here, that they're all in feet, right?
I believe there is a typo on this sheet. They are listed as in feet. Like the top riser there, the 2x3x3 inches, that should be a 2 foot by 3 foot by 3 inch riser.
Okay.
The last number there should be in
It
inches.
should be inches. Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to double check because it says feet on our sheet.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. We have an appraisal services agreement. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. In order to implement one of the safety recommendations of the Routes 505 and 97 study, some additional property along the south side of Old Glenwood Park Avenue is necessary to expand the road right-of-way for a turnaround. Attached is a letter of engagement from San Martino, Stout, and Lopresti for an appraisal of the property with a total fee of $3,250. An appraisal is required for the township to purchase the necessary parcel from the property owner. The project is scheduled to be completed during this paving season, so I recommend approval of this letter of engagement.
Matt, maybe if you could just touch base real quick on what exactly
The project?
we're going to be doing down
Yep.
there.
So this would be the conversion of a section of Old Glenwood Park Avenue to one-way operation heading westbound from Route 505. It would only be for about 750 feet until you get to the first house that is east of Home Road on Old Glenwood Park Avenue. So in order for those persons to access the homes in that area, they would need to be able to travel eastbound. So they could do so until after the last house. We would seek this piece of property so that we could build a turnaround for anybody heading that direction. And then people that are heading westbound could continue to head westbound away from 505. The reason for that is to eliminate cars coming out right at the same intersection where Young Road does. There's a lot of conflicts there, a lot of angle crashes, and many more near misses. And so that will eliminate one of those more hazardous traffic movements in that intersection.
Right, and they're kind of an extensive study is underway there. We've had some working sessions nearby, and that's a lot of, obviously, is PennDOT controlled with the 505 and Perry Highway.
Yes, the final recommendation of the study was that we would work with PennDOT to have them install a roundabout at that intersection at some point, but that is obviously a long way away and requires a lot of funding. And so they gave short-term safety recommendations that could be done to the intersection to help in the interim. One of those was trimming a lot of the bushes just north of the intersection near Padden's Paints, and that occurred last year, has really increased the sight distance there. And this would be another one of the major recommendations to eliminate that dangerous traffic movement in the intersection.
Very good, thank you, Matt. Okay, is there a motion to approve the service agreement with San Martino, Stout, and Lopresti?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Garage 1 ceiling insulation. Rob?
The Building Maintenance Department is seeking approval to have the ceiling of the air compressor room in Garage 1 spray foam insulated to prevent the area from condensating and damaging equipment and tools. Quotes were received as follows. Green Insulation Services, LLC, $1,800. Bauer Specialty, $2,383, and Erie Spray Foam was contacted but never returned a call or provided a quote. Funds will be taken from the skid steer reserve line of the building maintenance capital budget, leaving a balance of $37,350. It is my recommendation to contract this work to Green Insulation Services, LLC, for a price of $1,800.
Thank you, Rob. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Camera truck software system. Rob?
The Sewer Department is seeking approval to purchase 2 new IT pipe software systems, one for our old camera truck and one for the new truck that has an estimated delivery date of 6/21/23. This software will allow the township to sync our 3 inspection trucks and mainstream all information with our new server and our future asset management software. Total cost from IT pipes is $25,500 plus a $10,500 annual subscription per truck. Funds for this will be taken from the new server reserve line of the sanitary sewer capital budget, leaving a balance of $6,238. It is my recommendation to purchase these 2 systems from IT pipes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the truck software systems for the sewer department?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 9 on our agenda is ordinance 2023-5, an ordinance adding Chapter 40, Article 9 to the Mill Creek Township Code to regulate the use and sale of consumer fireworks and display fireworks within the township. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, before you is, as you indicated, ordinance 2023-5. This is an ordinance that's intended to have the township comply with the new state laws that were passed with respect to fireworks. It's the recommendation or the ordinance contains that a restriction for consumer fireworks between 10 p.m. Or between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. except for certain days, July 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and December 31. They could go until 1 a.m. The ordinance also provides for penalties for violating the ordinance. And at this point, it's been advertised, and the recommendation would be to approve the ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any questions or comments on this? And do I hear a motion regarding the ordinance?
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
After looking at some of the requirements with the fireworks ordinance, I think that there are some concerns about, number one, the time in which fireworks can be displayed. 1 a.m. seems a little late. And also the amount of distance between homes that are nearby does not seem to be sufficient. So I would like to make a motion to table this ordinance and maybe take another look at it so that we can possibly tighten.
Good morning, everyone. Lydia Caparosa with the Solicitor's Office. I was involved in the preparation of this ordinance, and just to answer a couple of those questions that you may have, Mrs. Clear, the language that is in the draft ordinance does exactly match the state statute that talks about the time restrictions as well as the distance. The 150 feet is for any vehicle or building regardless of whether or not it is occupied. I know there's a 300-foot reference, but that's in the ordinance, but that's with respect to display fireworks and not in terms of location from buildings. It's more so related to the location from other facilities that are selling fireworks. So we can't go less restrictive than what the statute says. So the 150 feet was the previous requirement and is still the current requirement under the state statute. In terms of the time limitations, the 1 a.m. is only applicable to specific holidays such as 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day weekend. And the statute does allow us to regulate the times for non-holidays, but those specific time limitations we're not allowed to mess with. They get under the statute until 1 a.m. We are not setting the 1 a.m. They get until 1. We can't be,
So we can't make it more restrictive, is what you're saying?
I know typically we can't make things less
we
restrictive.
can't make them less restrictive.
We'd have to look at
But
how they
the-
framed their language to see if we could make them more restrictive.
I have the exact, we are not able, we don't have the authority to restrict or regulate. That's what the statute does. We can't regulate the times for those holidays. We're allowed to go with what the statute says. We can't do anything different. So the way the statute reads as, except for authority exercised under section 1.2, we shall not restrict or regulate the use of consumer fireworks on the following days. Those days listed in A3, 1, and 2, which is, let me go back up to that, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th until 1 a.m. And if they fall on the Tuesday or Thursday, they get the preceding Saturday and following Friday and Saturday to do it. So we can't regulate those by the statute beyond what's already in the statute. And then also includes Memorial Day and Labor Day. So I understand the concerns with the 1 a.m., but the way the statute is written, we don't have the authority to regulate, to reduce it to like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. And that's only for consumer, that is not display.
When you say display, what?
Sure, the display of fireworks, in order to obtain those, that's also included in this ordinance as well, is that you have to obtain a permit. And you have to be certified and go through a process to be able to purchase those. So when you're thinking display, you're thinking of the big ones that,
Okay.
is put off down by the Centennial Tower. The commercial ones are different, and you don't have to get a permit for.
So display would be considered commercial?
No,
No, they're
they're
different.
different.
They are
they're
different.
different.
Yeah,
Okay.
the display fireworks, Jim, are, I think, denoted by size. If they're above a certain size, they're viewed as display. And you
Okay.
have to have a permit and certain qualifications to shoot those off. Otherwise, anything below that are viewed as consumer fireworks.
Consumer grade.
Yeah,
Yes.
which in many cases look like displays, but, those are the ones, that don't need permits.
Yeah, a lot of this all stemmed from, I think it was 2017, they made changes to the revenue statute to allow for the purchase of consumer fireworks, like
Right.
bottle rockets, Roman candles, things that we couldn't previously purchase in Pennsylvania. This has now moved it from the revenue provisions to the agriculture provisions, and just modified a couple of things. but the 150 feet remains the same as it always has been. And the township does, my understanding, have a map on their website that they will be updating to reflect the new language of the ordinance and the statute that indicates where you would be permitted to set these off at, based on distances. I believe Matt Puda prepared that, and Shallon Anderson and I talked about that as well.
Okay, I do agree with you, Kim, about the 1 a.m., but if you're saying that we're bound by the state statute, it doesn't sound like we have much of a choice.
Yeah, any other day besides, you know, the 4th of July, Memorial, and Labor Day, we can certainly set time limitations and regulations, but the language in the statute says we don't have the authority to regulate those days.
Okay, but that language wouldn't be in this specific ordinance
What, the time limitation?
for the non-listed days. Yeah, you know, let's just say someone wanted to set them off, you know, May 10th.
I think
Yes. Under subsection, it's on page 5, but it is sub 40-67, consumer fireworks, subsection B4, which talks about the time limitation. That gives the limitations of you can't set it off between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m.
Okay,
And then except for, and then lists out the July 4th holiday and the Memorial Day and Labor Day.
I think my other concern, you know, is, I mean, when you have a, you know, a lot size, let's just say about a fourth of an acre being between, I don't know, 70 to 120 by 120 feet, does that allow 150 feet between the homes? Especially when we're, you know, looking at the Lakewood area where they're on about an eighth of an acre, smaller than that.
And that's what the map that the township already has from the 2017 shows, like in red circles, you know, what the distance is and where you would be able to set those off.
So it's,
it's pretty limited.
So most of the township, you can't be
Okay.
setting these off in,
okay.
because there's not enough space.
Even the
between
Roman
buildings.
candles and,
Hmm?
even like Roman candles and things like that?
If they
Or-
fall into the definition of consumer fireworks,
Okay.
then they're not permitted. So like the novelties are not regulated, so like sparklers and.
Yes, I did read
The
that
ground
in the
ones, those
definitions.
aren't regulated, but anything that goes up into the air is what the consumer fireworks would be considered. So like bottle
Okay.
rockets.
And where does one find this map?
It is on the township's website. I don't know the specific page that it would fall under because you do need to obtain a fireworks permit. So it would be with that. So you can search on the website for, you know, fireworks. As I said, there will be an update to the map to include the 2022, this ordinance language in terms of the restrictions and locations. But the 150 feet is not changing.
Okay.
If I could add, we can ask Sam Peterson, the communications coordinator, if he can maybe put something on the front page with a link directly to the fireworks map, especially with the holiday approaching.
Thank you. Okay.
Chief, I didn't know if you had any other input. I know we probably get 1 or 2 calls about fireworks, don't we?
We are overwhelmed with fireworks calls, and enforcing it's difficult because of the sheer volume of people doing this. So I'd like to see an education campaign. If Sam could help with that, that'd be great, to get the message out to the public, to hopefully curb some of the calls we get about this sort of thing.
And it also will be helpful too. Some of the penalties are fairly severe. If you're utilizing display fireworks without a permit, and consumer permit fireworks as well, in violation, so.
I know that it's difficult to find the home of the fireworks as well that are being put off. I've been told by some of the police officers that, you know, you can see it go up in the air, but to know where it came from is a little bit, is difficult. And unless they're doing many in a row, and that doesn't always happen, it can be, it's very difficult for police officers to find the place where they're being put off. So I know it seems like, well, just follow the sound, but it's not quite that easy.
Okay, any other discussion on this?
No, but I will make, whoa, sorry. I will make I'll make a time to sit down with Sam, and maybe we can put together some kind of an education campaign, as Chief Mook noted, and maybe we can get together with you, Chief Mook, to get that out there.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, I believe you initially made a motion to table this. Do we want?
I don't think a motion was made, as
Oh,
I
okay.
recall. I think Ms. Clear then had some
Okay,
questions, and then I think
okay.
it led to the discussion.
Okay, is there a motion on this ordinance?
Well, it seems our hands are tied to, tightening things up, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Do I have a second? I'll second it. I'll call for a vote. Mrs. Clear? What do you think?
No.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, we have a new or amended ordinance under review for the saldo. Mr. Shaw?
Yeah, the review of the SADO continues as we're trying to finalize in some certain specialized sections, and working with the new township engineer to get his input on those things, to make sure everyone's on the same page. So we do still intend to have a public review process, and we're still probably a couple meetings away before it'll be ready to be presented to the Board of Supervisors for their review.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Resolution 2023-R27. Mr. Shaw?
Yeah, Resolution 2023-R27 is a resolution to approve the transfer of $900,000 from the township to the Mill Creek Township General Authority. This would cover the cost of acquisition of the sandbar, which is scheduled which closing is scheduled for the end of June. This amount falls within the amount budgeted to the authority by the township for 2023.
Okay, any questions or comments on this resolution? Do I hear a motion on this?
I do have a quick question. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Kim.
Mr. My gosh, sorry, Attorney Shaw. Sorry, I'm still thinking about fireworks, I think. Quick question for you. Is this to take care of the purchases that will be occurring on June 15th and June 28th, I believe?
The June 15 funds were already authorized at the last meeting. This would be for closing for the sandbar, which is at the end of this month.
Okay, so this one is just in particular for the sandbar, just so that I have clarification. Okay, thank you very much. Then I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote no. Next up is the Penelec easement for Wander Park. Matt?
Sorry, thank you. When Mill Creek Township acquired Wander Park, which is on Crowell Street between Bible Avenue and Berry Street, the property was subject to a Penelec easement for power lines along Berry Street. The township was contacted by First Energy, who wishes to update and standardize the easements along Wander Park, as well as with private property owners along the same service line. In exchange for signing a new updated easement agreement, First Energy has agreed to pay the township a consideration of $3,000. Attached is the proposed updated easement, a copy of the payment schedule, and a W-9 the township would be required to provide in order to receive payment. I would recommend that the chair be authorized to sign the payment schedule and the easement agreement between the township and Mid-Atlantic Interstate Transmission, LLC.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions or comments?
None here.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this easement and authorize the chair to sign the payment schedule and the easement agreement between us and Mid-Atlantic Interstate Transmission, LLC?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 13 on our agenda, we have a law enforcement training access agreement. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, the Mill Creek Township Police Department would like to use the Bel Air or for non-destructive training exercises. And this agreement with the general authority would allow the department access to the facility for such training. It covers things like insurance issues and access issues and so forth. This matter actually will be before the authority at this afternoon's meeting. The recommendation would be to approve the agreement to enable the police department to use that building for various training exercises.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion on this?
I'll
Make
make
a
a-
motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Erie Water Works Geographic Information System Database Release Agreement. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, the Department of Planning and Development is interested in obtaining the GIS data relating to the locations of water lines and facilities within Mill Creek Township that is being held and is gathered by Erie Water Works in order to assist in future planning and engineering projects. This type of information, however, is viewed as confidential and has been identified as needing protection from disclosure due to security reasons. In fact, the PUC has a particular process that it outlines for utilities that need to follow in order to protect this type of information from getting out, frankly, to the general public. As a result, while Erie Water Works is willing to share the data, they have requested that Mill Creek execute this release agreement and comply with the terms and conditions. We have reviewed the document and recommend that the board approve and execute this agreement. There are certain restrictions on how the township can use and disclose this information. If the information has to go to a third party, for instance, for an engineer and so forth, there are limitations that they then have to comply with and things like that to ensure the security of the water system.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments on this release agreement with Erie Water Works?
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Kim.
Just so that the general public knows, I actually learned a little bit about this last year. I was asked to go into a chemistry class and talk about where our water came from. And I talked with Mark Wells, who works in our Public Works Department, and he explained to me just how closely guarded the water system is throughout the nation. Because if we release where water is or where it flows to or from, it could be contaminated in some way purposefully and then cause harm to many people. But I thought that was interesting. So this is actually very important that we do this.
Okay,
Fun fact for the day.
very good. Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
okay. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Financial security reduction request. Matt?
Thank you. This is for Whispering Woods Phase 7C. The developer of that section is Renaud Peck Real Estate, and they're requesting a reduction in their financial security for the pavement for Mystic Ridge. The township accepted that final section of Mystic Ridge at the May 23rd, 2023 meeting, as all required improvements have been completed. The current financial security remaining for this pavement was $28,675.20, and we also hold a 10% contingency. That is a total of $31,542.72. So it is the recommendation to reduce the financial security from $149,370.10 to $117,827.38. That is for Erie Bank Letter of Credit number 1640.
Thank you, Matt. Is there a motion to approve this as presented?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. We have a sidewalk deferral request. Matt?
Thank you. This is a request for a sidewalk deferral agreement for 5029 Conrad Road. The person that owns that lot is building a single-family dwelling, and they are proposing to defer the construction of their sidewalk. There are currently no sidewalks located in the area. So it is the recommendation of the Zoning and Development Office to approve the sidewalk deferral as there are no sidewalks adjacent to the property. No plans at this time to install sidewalks in the area. The owner of the property has signed the township standard agreement for a sidewalk deferral.
Do I hear a motion on this sidewalk deferral request?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Stormwater Management Maintenance Agreement and Management Plan for Dollar General. Go ahead, Matt.
Yes. Attached is the executed stormwater management maintenance agreement for the land development plan for Dollar General that is located on West 38th Street, just east of Pacific Avenue. The developer is Westminster Development LLC. GPI, Greenman Peterson Incorporated, the township's contracted third-party reviewing engineer, has reviewed the plan for consistency with the township's stormwater management ordinance. There is a letter attached with the packet from GPI stating that the document complies with the substantive requirements of the ordinance. So it would be our recommendation to accept the stormwater management plan for Dollar General on 38th Street and to approve the agreement as submitted.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on this?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Number 18, communications, treasurer communications, employee benefit carrier changes. Mark?
Yes, our current carrier for our accident, life, accident, and long-term disability insurance, Hartford, was seeking a 26% increase in the premium. That was unacceptable. So our broker, Hub International, took that package of business out to market. They received bids from Mutual of Omaha, the Standard, and a carrier that's primarily involved in stop loss, Symetra, and each of those came in below the projected increase by Hartford. Upon further review, we were able to get Mutual of Omaha down to matching the standard bid, and so it's my recommendation that we place the business with Mutual of Omaha for the accident, life, and long-term disability. The annual cost is going to be roughly $82,600. That varies year over year because the LTD is based on salaries, and as they rise, the cost of insurance will rise, but the cost per $100 or per $1,000 will not. It's a 2-year rate guarantee. So it's my recommendation to place that with Mutual of Omaha.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments on that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Next up, looks like we have a resignation in our code department. Matt?
Yes, thank you. Krista Arnold has resigned her position of Chief Code Enforcement Officer for the township to pursue a new opportunity as the Director of Operations for the Erie County Land Bank. Krista has been a stellar employee, manager, and friend, and will be deeply missed by all. While we are sad to see her leave Mill Creek, we wish her well in her new endeavor and know that she will be wildly successful wherever she goes. Krista still has a number of open code violation cases that could proceed to the district magistrate. I would like to recommend the board enter into an agreement with Krista to return on an as-needed hourly basis if required to settle open cases. The agreement would provide compensation to Krista at her currently hourly rate of $27.07. There is also a letter attached from HR outlining that agreement and stating that there would be no benefits or any other, anything else attached other than the hourly rate.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions or comments on this per diem? We're just voting on the per diem agreement.
Yes, correct.
Congratulations to Krista on her new position. We're so happy for her, although sad to see her go.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll
Mr.
make a
Owen.
motion to approve.
And I will second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Sticking with the code department, we have a promotion request. Matt, you want to handle that too?
Sure. I'd be happy to. Yes. With the departure of Krista, that does leave an open position of Chief Code Enforcement Officer in the Code Enforcement Office. I would like to recommend Shalon Anderson be promoted to that position of Chief Code Enforcement Officer. Shalon's salary in that position would be $56,302.69. She would continue to receive additional payment for her quality control work that she does for the fire departments and for her emergency management duties as long as she performs those. Her start date would be today if approved. She has worked for the township since January 2nd, 2020. She started her career in the Code Enforcement Office as a clerk, was recently promoted within the last year to a Code Enforcement Officer, and we would be happy to have Shalon take over the reins of that office.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Do I hear a motion to approve the promotion of Shalon Anderson to Chief Code Enforcement Officer?
So moved.
And I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes.
And congratulations to Shalon Anderson on the promotion. I know she will do a fantastic job in that role. We're happy to have her.
For sure. Okay, next up, we have a transfer request for dispatch.
I can take care of this.
Thank you, Chief.
Our current evidence and property custodian, Rich Moore, is retiring the first week of August, and he's indicated that he would need about 6 weeks to train his replacement. And a current dispatcher, Randy Hooley, interviewed for the position and accepted. We accepted, he accepted, with a start date of June 22nd, 2023 in this new position. There's no change in his pay rate. It's a lateral move for him. Randy's been employed with the township as a part-time dispatcher starting March 16th of 2015. He then became a full-time dispatcher August 22nd of 2015, and he's remained in that position for the last nearly 8 years.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this lateral transfer to the evidence property custodian?
Excuse me.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. We have a hiring request from the engineering department. Who would like to handle that?
I was just planning to be a sponge today, so I think Mr. Waller can handle that.
I can handle that
We
for
were wondering if you were going to say any words.
Mr. Rodemeyer. Yes, this would be a new hire in the engineering department to replace the position vacated by John Sebesta's departure earlier this month, or I'm sorry, in May. The date of the hire would be 6/19/2023, next Monday. It's being recommended to hire Chad McConnell as project engineer. His rate would be $67,500 annually with an additional $2,500 upon successful completion of his professional engineer certification. Chad is currently employed with the City of Erie Bureau of Engineering as a project engineer, and he's been there for 4.5 years. He has a BS in civil engineering and has had his engineering and training certificate since 2019. He is eligible to sit for his PE this fall. So with that, we would recommend that the township hire Chad McConnell as a project engineer effective June 19th.
Thank you, Matt. Is there a motion to approve this hiring of Chad McConnell as project engineer?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. We have a new hire request at Milfair.
Yes.
Jesse?
Thank you. There was a need to fill a vacancy at the Milfair Compost Center for a heavy equipment operator. Our candidate, John Berger, has experience working in the composting field. He has already worked at the Millfair Compost Center on the Fairview side on the weekends for 4 years. He is skilled with our Wildcat screener and our high lift loaders. John also has his CDL license and retired from PennDOT after being employed there for 33 years. So it is my recommendation that we hire John Berger at the established $18 per hour rate starting yesterday, June 12th, 2023. So this is a retroactive hire.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Is there a motion to approve this new hire?
So moved?
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, Ashley, who's been patiently waiting
Thank you.
for this.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, before you are a list of employees that are actually 5 lifeguards that we'd like to hire for the summer season at Parks and Recreation. Their positions are essential to ensuring the safety of pool patrons throughout the summer season. Their wages are set in line with the approved pay scale or are accounted for in the Parks and Recreation operational budget. Additionally, there are some rate changes listed as well, as there's been some shifts in supervisory positions at some of the programs. So those rates are also in line with the approved part-time wage scale that's been set by the township previously. So it is my recommendation to approve the hiring of the 5 listed lifeguards and the appropriate rate changes for the listed employees.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. Is there a motion to approve as requested?
So moved?
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Ms. Marsteller, how did the first day go of our summer session yesterday?
It was wet and cold, but it was a good day. So we had a very full indoor day inside at our day camp program. Unfortunately, tennis was not able to start yesterday, and I believe we had 1 pool patron yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, you
For
had
the
one
limited
pool
time we were
patron.
open. Yes, there's some very excited people. The pools are heated, so all are welcome.
So as of yesterday, the pools, both Bell Valley and Chestnut Hill are open, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you still have some openings for a few of your, of the summer session, right?
Yes, yes. In terms of our swimming lesson schedule, yes, and we have some openings left in our tennis program as well. If anyone's interested
Yes.
still in registering, we will keep them open for a little bit longer just to try to fill all of our seats.
Oh, good. So the kids can still sign up for tennis.
Absolutely.
What about pickleball?
The adult program is filled. We had 2 adult sessions. Those are filled. We're looking to see if we can possibly add some more on, but there is still room in the youth pickleball. If
Youth
any.
pickleball
Yes.
still open. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a training request. Chief?
The Erie Police Department's Crisis Negotiator Team is doing a scenario-based training on June 16th from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And our Crisis Negotiator Team was invited to participate. The location is at Erie Police Department. And this is an excellent no-cost opportunity for our team to further their training experience, and I highly recommend this be approved.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this training request at the Erie Police Department?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Executive sessions were held on May 31st and June 8th. On May 31st, real estate issues were discussed relating to utility easement, parks and rec facilities, litigation related to right-to-know appeals, orphans court petitions, zoning hearing board appeals, and personnel issues. On June 8th, real estate related to utility easement, parks and rec facilities, and right-of-way expansion, litigation related to code enforcement, right-to-know appeals, orphans court petition, zoning hearing board appeals, and personnel. Solicitor Communications, Mr. Shaw.
Yes, I have one matter. Recently, a decision of the zoning hearing board relating to 509 Arbuckle Road was appealed to the Court of Common Pleas. While the zoning hearing board is the appellee in that case, the township has the right to intervene in the case, and by doing so, it preserves the ability to appeal any decision of the Common Pleas Court. So at this time, we would recommend that the board approve the township filing an intervention in that case.
Any questions or comments on that? Is there a motion to approve the authorization to intervene in this case?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do I hear a second? I will second. I'll call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
No.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, citizens to be heard. Any citizens wish to be heard? Sir, if you could come up to the podium and... You may approach. Morning.
Hello.
Thank you. Oh, no problem. You just state your name and address for the record.
Sure thing. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dave Condy. I reside at 2647 Kimberly Drive. I handed a packet to you folks in regards to what I'm going to be commenting about. I would have been here sooner, but unfortunately, some private matters kept me from attending the last several supervisors meetings. I bring up the issue that's been an ongoing issue for several years. Storm ditch in our area, one that borders my property. The other one actually is across the street. And my neighbors that I just found out in the past week that they also have filed a complaint with the streets department regarding the storm ditch in their area. If you look at the packet, there is an email that I originally was going to send to Supervisor Bach, but after talking with several residents of the area, they suggested I come to the meeting, so therefore I am here. If we refer to that email, it discusses the storm ditch, the history that I've had with it. I've resided at that address for 13 years. Over the years, there have been continued deterioration of the ditch. Also, the same across the street as far as road safety, erosion of property, erosion of the what little bit of property there is between the ditch and the road. I comment as far as what I term as the southern and northern ditch sections. As far as the northern ditch is concerned, there is erosion, not to the severity that you're going to find on the southern ditch. As far as the northern ditch is concerned, I was told last year that as far as tubing that is concerned, could not be justified. Not that it could not be done, but that it could not just be justified. As far as the southern ditch is concerned, there is much more probably time-consuming, concerning issues with that ditch. The pictures that I included, and again, I apologize that they date back to April, but of course, without the rain that we've lacked for the last 3 or 4 weeks, it would have not been beneficial anyway. But if you look at the pictures, the first set of pictures, which is of the southern ditch, you will see it rained on April 22nd significantly, and you can see where there is flooding that takes place on the property. Part of the property and the ditch are actually even with each other. So even though the ditch may be running water away from the development, there is flooding that is taking place on the property. The next set of pictures is from April 23rd, which would be the following day, in which there was no rain. But again, you can see the level of the issue. Then the following pictures are of the northern ditch, which was also taken, I believe, on the 23rd of April. And again, you can see where that area, there is some erosion. Like, for example, there's like almost a development of a little stream that goes into the ditch. And that area in particular, as far as the northern ditch is concerned, is a lot more even with the road, so therefore tubing could be a possibility. I know in talking with people who reside in the area, us and the people across the street are the only people in the entire area that for some reason, I don't know how many years ago, the township decided not to do anything as far as those areas were concerned in storm ditch. I know that the township talks about a right-of-way, which is approximately, goes about 25 feet onto the property. I know that I try to maintain the ditch as best as I can, especially this time of year, which would be, you know, cutting it and trimming it and things of that sort. But I have to say that I question how well the township has held its end of the bargain as far as maintaining is concerned. I have heard people say, well, we'll keep an eye on the ditch. What exactly does that mean? I've had cars drive into the ditch in the wintertime. I've had cars drive into the ditch during this time of year. Again, if you look at the situation, I do wonder how much of a road hazard it is becoming. I am more than happy and open to listening to anybody, meet with anybody, come with a compromise to see if we can resolve what I feel is going to be an ongoing problem now and in the future. It's going to be an ongoing problem. I don't see where it's going to improve. If anything, it's going to get worse. So I just wanted to make those comments. I don't know if anybody has any questions. My contact information is in the packet. Like I said, I'm more than welcome to meet with anybody.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Condi?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Thank you very
presentation.
much, folks.
Thank you, sir. Sir?
Sprinio, real quick, 1720 West Corner Road. Hey, I'd like to thank whoever, they got all the cuts fixed, you know, up in my neighborhood anyhow. They're nice and even, no slams. Now that you're almost completed buying all these properties, is that really a historical landmark down there? That little frog place or whatever it was called? School. What? Grasshopper. And if so, is the township going to take responsibility for maintaining that? I'd like to know that. No? Nothing? Nothing? Is it?
You asked
Did
if it was-
anybody do any research to find out if it's really
Oh, I know
historical?
there's a lot of research going on.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just kind of monitoring what people are discovering, and I mean, there's definitely a historical, you know, component to that building.
Yeah.
There's a historical component to any building, but it appears that that building is a little bit, you know, goes back further, obviously, than some of the other buildings down there. So,
Was it a school?
was it a school?
Yeah.
From what I've read, I think it was some type of school. I believe it was called Laird School.
My
Or
house
no,
could be
or
a
what
No,
was it?
we don't have any conclusive evidence right now.
Yeah.
Any primary sources.
Well, I just, you know,
But we are looking into it, just so you know, Jerry. We do, and we have been in contact and continue to be in contact with the Hagen History Museum and the in Erie Historical Society regarding this. So,
and I've been.
and the authority has kind of taken that over, I think, for the most part, trying to determine.
Okay. Well, that should get cleared up. What are you playing? I'm teasing you.
Oh.
I like to.
Nothing.
Anyways, what about the EMS deal that was proposed between Grappy and Davis? How would that affect Mill Creek Paramedic Service? And would there be 2 fees to township residents? Have you guys had any discussions on that with anybody?
I think it's too early to surmise what's going to happen there. That's
Sure.
just really been introduced by the county executive.
Yeah.
He's at least got the conversation started. You know, this is a countywide issue. Nobody can deny that. So where will it land? I don't know yet. But
Well, I'm concerned because people escape to these little boroughs and townships so they pay less taxes. And if you look at Harbor Creek and Fairview, they have the lowest millage, and they don't ask their people to join. They don't give any money to their EMS. And here we're paying, well, some of us are. But I mean, you guys established it, and I don't feel that why should I pay for two? So I was wondering what your position would be on that.
well, like I said, it is too early to tell where this is going to land yet. So,
I think it's a big thing.
oh, it's definitely a big thing.
I think he's a little overreach on both Grappy and him.
No.
I'd like to see you at the county council meeting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Jerry, also, I'd like to say, I feel like we're still in the research phase of that, too.
Sure.
I think, as Supervisor Olet said, I think that the conversation has just started. And I think we have a while before that gets figured out. Nothing in government happens quickly. That's a good thing. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, any other citizens to be heard? Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We are adjourned at 10:41. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,